I'm David Wheeler, and I'm a retired minister here in our Michigan Conference of the United Church of Christ, and I serve on the Compassionate Generosity Mission Area Team, and this is Faith for Thought. The church to which I belong in Grand Rapids, like yours, I suspect, reaches out to help others with Christmas gifts for those in need. I was fortunate to visit with one of them recently, and as I came to their home, I wondered what the nature of their need was. It was a mom and a dad and a family of 4, except that wasn't their need. It turns out they were a mom and a dad and a family of 6 children because they had brought 2 more children into their home because of a relative's inability to care for them. So here was a mom and a dad and 6 kids trying to make do and to provide something special for Christmas. It was amazing when we sat down because there was such joy and such animation and such love and care and comfort in that home. All the children talking about what they might want for Christmas, and the mom and the dad sharing the joy of the anticipation with them, despite the fact that there were many, many children and not everything could be shared with all of them. I had a wonderful time, and I left just lifted up by their spirit of care for one another. And yet I was reminded of another story of when I was a pastor in another area, and a woman came to the church that I served, and she and her 2 children had moved into a home, renting the home near the church, and the 2 kids had come to our after-school program. And before Christmas, the mom said that she had special needs for her kids. She had lost her job, and the children weren't going to have much of a Christmas at all. And so the church responded, and we were very generous in giving, and we all felt good about that, except after Christmas, when I was meeting with a group of colleagues in our downtown clergy association. I discovered that this woman had come to each of the churches in the area with the same story of the same need, and yet after Christmas she had sold the gifts to help cover her addiction to prescription drugs. It was a sad story and was difficult. I share those 2 stories because I think they are analogies today to what we see in the country around us. They speak to the powers of love and the issue of doubt and even despair. Who hasn't been frustrated, angry, depressed, or outspoken about the news that comes to us seemingly every day? Like the false story the woman told me, we have become accustomed to fake news and outrageous tweets or a lack of trust in public officials because of partisanship or misconduct. And yet we pray for a different world where hope and happiness prevail, like in the family that gathered around the kitchen at the table in an atmosphere of love and care that was joyous. Which side of the analogy will we come down on? Why strive for compassionate generosity when suspicion or anger seem to be frustratingly appropriate? Because generosity and compassion are marks of faith. They are stewardship and means of sustaining hope in these times of if only and not yet. They are like lights that shine in the darkness that cannot be put out. After all, just think what the state of things could be if our God had left the world and its problems to be, letting alternative truths and issues and wrongdoing and sin just be liable to judgment rather than compassion. Yet God so loved the world that with infinite love, generosity in that spirit, God's Spirit, was brought to earth in the life of Jesus the Christ. So as faith for thought, I suggest that stewardship of compassion and generosity are Advent themes. Compassionate generosity makes a way through the wilderness. Generous compassion makes a highway for the Lord at Christmas and every day. A Faith for Thought.